Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and today I'm going to be playing a little game called Esoteric Ebb, which appears to be fairly new. I've been aware of this game for about a week now and I know very little about it. But that's probably the best way to go into it. I notice that the developers seem to like bombarding us with social media type messages. In the bottom right hand corner of the screen, which I will attempt to not devote too much time to. First off, just briefly, quick recording check to make sure everything's going well, because when I opened up the game's options menu, I couldn't see any controls. So I don't know if my recording hotkeys clash with any of the game's controls or not, and I will find out as things continue. Usually before I start recording a new game, I like to give a little talk about what I know about the game. It ain't going to be much. So as I said, I've been aware of this one for about a week and a half now. It's not been out that long. I think I might have been aware of it before it was released. And I picked it up when I was able to afford it with my humble offerings. I know what's written on the Steam page. I've glanced at a few sentences from some of the reviews. That's it, pretty much. It is claimed that this game is similar to two other very great games in some way. One of which I have played, one I have not. The claim is that this game is similar to Planescape Torment and Disco Elysium. I've played Planescape Torment, probably about halfway through it, never completed it, many years ago, and did a recent playthrough up to a similar point recently on my YouTube channel a year or two ago, which I should probably pick up and finish off at some point. When it comes to Disco Elysium, I am not the greatest aficionado of disco music. The idea of disco music being associated with the ancient Greek heavenly afterlife for the good people who would get to go to the Elysian fields, not Elysium, but Elysian fields, Elysium being kind of... it's so close to Elysian fields. Anyway, didn't particularly appeal to me. And then a YouTuber that I follow started doing a playthrough, and I watched half an hour or so to see if I might like it, at which point I decided I'd seen too much, I would like it, and it would have been much better if I'd gone in blind. So I watched a bit more, and by now I've watched, 4 or 5 Disco Elysium playthroughs and never played it myself, because by this point I know too much, and going in blind, it would feel like I'd be calculating, trying to achieve specific results, and just accepting the randomness of the game as a way of, a bit of variety, and like, oh hey, so it's going in a different direction to what I expected. Cool, I can go with that. Now, to claim that this game is like either of those is a very bold claim, and I suppose we'll have to see where the similarities lie. However, a number of reviewers have said, it's not so much like Disco Elysium or Planescape Torment as it is like Discworld. And that I can kind of get behind. I didn't enjoy the first 2 Discworld novels very much because they felt a bit too chaotic and disjointed and silly for silly's sake, rather than being a good story and working together. Whereas after the first 2 books, Terry Pratchett got his act together, vastly improved his writing style, and his books got much better and far more enjoyable. So why don't we... That's pretty much all I know, by the way. Apparently we play as a religious character, a servant of the divine. And the title would suggest that with the ebb and flow, just as everything waxes and wanes, the esotericism, the secret knowledge, is fading away. Either it's being lost and forgotten as people become greedy and materialistic and don't pay attention to things, and so things fade into obscurity and become secret, or the esoteric nature is ebbing as secrets are being dragged out into the open, and so there's no such thing as secrets anymore. I know it's set in a fantasy city, we have a sidekick character, and the city is about to hold its first election. So it's probably going to go really horribly because they've never done it before. And, of course, because, as Winston Churchill said, famously, democracy is the absolutely worst form of government, except for all the others. Let's dive in and see how it goes. Okay, law, uses and role. We have quite a lot here. Role might be presets, I don't know. Every shepherd knows the song. It bellows up the river. Earth takes in that sliver of land. Earth lives in that sliver of land. Torna's lament. Folk prayer. Let's see. Definition of strength. I don't know if this is part of the strength definition or not. Become a zealot. Regain your honor. Seek out your divine mission. The cleric's unique take on strength. We have. I'm going to uses. High strength. Okay. Roll. Okay. Let's see. Strength measures your natural bodily prowess alongside a testosterone-fueled mindset. As a man, it is only proper for you to hone your figure and its capabilities. But why? The search for meaning is as vital as the struggle towards competency. Luckily, you already know your cause. To protect the innocent, to lead the weak, to sacrifice until nothing but your bones hit the pavement, to literally die. Become a zealot. Regain your honor. Seek out your divine mission. Background focus punching bag. +2 constitution, +1 charisma. Okay, let's see. 2 proficiencies, so 2 spots to spend. And what are all these dots? It is imperative to simply explain to these people they have the right to choose. Belief in oneself is just. Wealth is built from within. Meriadoc Moonwatch, sights beyond reeds. Dexterity measures natural reactivity, balance and poise, the haste with which you express a witty remark or notice a nervous glance, and of course your ability to gracefully avoid the consequences of your actions. It's all about risk versus reward. It is that feeling of self-preservation when everything falls apart around you, to grab as much as you can while the grabbing's good, to progress towards a new future full of freedom so those who look out for themselves can prosper and survive. I promise you, no one else will. Now, here's the thing. We don't know if an election is the right thing for these people. Maybe they have a really bad government and the election could bring in something improvement. Maybe they're just really silly and they should just let the king do everything because they have a good king in the first place. In which case, maybe they have a really indecisive ruler who wants an election. Because honestly, the best form of government, in my opinion, is a benevolent dictatorship, not a democracy. Democracy can too easily lead to things being sentenced to death by committee where people will just argue and nothing ever gets done. And it helps to have a decisive ruler figure to make those kind of decisions. And then they have courtiers and advisors who they can listen to help them make those decisions. But with democracy, you've got the courtiers and the advisors trying to make all the decisions themselves, and it's a right mess. Okay. Dexterity. With enough dexterity you can steal anything. Pick locks and sneak and dodge traps and roll initiative and react quickly as a dashing rogue. FT. Become rich as a Republican revolutionary. Now, do they mean Republican like a republic, as in the kind of place that is like France after the French Revolution and is democratic and holds elections, or do they mean like the American Republican Party, which has come to have a very different meaning? I don't know. Just run away, dummy! Monster face. High dexterity for cleric, votes for revolutionary freestriders, collects piles of shiny coins, acts first in every encounter, avoids trouble before it brews. I like the fact we have a lot of Now these are obviously the Dungeons and Dragons ability scores, and if we want to go back to first edition, the cleric needs high wisdom, and if they have an extremely low dexterity, they are forced to be a cleric. Constitution. Always listen to your hungry stomach. The hedonists. A blind manifesto. Is it hedonist or hedonist? Hedonistic? Yeah, hedonistic. The hedonists. Okay. Constitution measures your natural stamina, both mental and physical. It's how much you can take before going down, so we want like a 14 then, right? The world is harsh and unforgiving. It will beat you to a pulp with words and sticks. So, listen to your gut, the instinct that kicks in when you're standing in the pit. It is the voice that speaks nothing but bodily truth. Every choice you make, every emotion you accumulate can be traced back to the lower half of that stomach of yours. Follow it. Retain the mortality of fleshy logic. Simple, easy, truthful. Constitution is needed for hit points. Control your body and its esoteric connection. That's keeping a good esoteric connection is probably a very good thing. Your political party polled 2% last week and you don't care because you're a fuck-hard, double-hard bastard. Pain is good for you. Mate, I got fibromyalgia. I experience pain every single waking moment of my life ever since I was born. It's normal. So I probably should go for a high constitution then. A high constitution cleric keeps forgetting there's an election. Because honestly, there probably shouldn't be. Focuses on the good things in life. Is tougher than entropy. Isn't entropy decay? Or is that entropy? What is entropy? I can't remember. Keeps his neuroticism in check. Talks of the spirits in the walls, probably a good idea. Listens to his gut. Is already dead. A low constitution cleric will die. Panics over everything. Listens to his gut and is wrong. Has no control of his bodily functions. Can't handle the pain. And has no special connection with walls. I don't know, these walls might be kind of important. Intelligence. A glorious design. Let those who learn lead through merit of ability and nothing else. Lord Phileas Prax. Autobiography of Prax. Intelligence measures your ability to recall, store and process information. It is your logical receptacle and calculator. It is only proper for you to hone this pulsating mass within your skull. But why? Simple, pure, unadulterated ego. Knowledge rules the world. So too shall you one day lead the weak. Bring your genius to the masses. If they do not bow, they shall not deserve you. You know everything about the past. Therefore it is only rational you will truly know the future as well. Enlighten the ignorant masses. High intelligence lets you prepare more spells. Think, plan, and execute an actual plan. It looks like there's a teapot breaking here. Complete the Majorcratic Writ of... I presume that's supposed to be a U. Vote for yourself. Be a genius without peers. A high intelligence cleric votes for the best wizard. You, obviously. Despises and envies the gods. Well, why the hell would we do that as a cleric? Solves every mystery with ease. masters arcane magic, spouts historical facts for hours, is dismissive towards those lesser, knows everything. A low intelligence cleric knows nothing, is both ignorant and confident, oh no, makes up tidbits to seem smart, is barely sentient, cannot intentionally solve mysteries, is an idiot, duh. Okay. Wisdom. The most important one for a cleric. Why do we have dexterity and constitution as proficient, whatever proficient is? Oh, have these just been assigned by clicking on them? I see. The large crumble upon their heavy forms, the mystical falter at the crucial point, the small rise to the occasion. Halfweed's poem. I see many eyes, wings, and this looks like a heart or some kind of bodily organ. I should pay more attention to the other symbols for the other ability scores. I'm not going to randomize this. Wisdom measures your awareness, intuition, and ability to understand the world around you, to feel it. You may not know why, but meeting the gaze of another grants you an empathic bond with her, her wants and fears, her dreams and hopes. You can read people for good or bad and pick up details others would pass by. It is your belief in the heart of all folk to give and share what you have and be completely and utterly selfless. It is the only true road to redemption. Gods only know how hard you try. High wisdom lets you empower your spells. Be kind and see the good in all folk. The egalitarian hope of the Asgardian working class. There are no big bad evil guys. I mean, there probably are. A high wisdom cleric votes for the Asgardian Workers' Party. That sounds like communism, doesn't it? Hates nothing except hierarchies. You're literally in a religious hierarchy. Why would you... Embraces his feminine side. Follows his bleeding heart. Masters primal magic. Reads body language like a champ. Notices all details. A low wisdom cleric is an obvious fool. Misreads cues all the time. Well, yeah, I suppose I'm on the autistic spectrum, so... Does not think about the lower class. Doesn't get people. Fails at spotting traps. Is not aware of where he is, like what's going on. He's so confused. It goes off and literally... Yeah. The thing is, I don't need to play myself. And finally, charisma. Those who believe in democracy have a wonderful view of folk, to think them capable of making rational and informed decisions devoid of personal bias and emotional conduct. It is frankly inspiring. Nicholas Darrow, Memoirs of a Statesman. Charisma measures your eloquence, confidence, and ability to navigate social situations of any kind. In short, it is the force of your unkempt personality, but they don't need to know that. Smooth talk your way into any position of your liking. You can be affiliated with any known faction or thought. Reality is molded around your will. Like a chameleon, become a social operator. Become anything you need to make everyone finally love you. With high charisma, you get an automatic discount in selected stores near you. Win every conversation. Say the right thing. Say whatever gets people to like you and become an apolitical force of nature. Be arguably sociopathic. Alright, so I'm going to presume these dots are going to be ability scores. We also have background focus. Punching bag gives 2 constitution, 1 charisma. This looks a bit like the Paladin build. Troll killer. Felteni 14th, 7 PE. Troll killer. I don't remember it. But you know well how your father died. Sometimes it... you don't remember it, but you know well how your father died. Sometimes it motivated you. Sometimes it felt impossible to live up to. +3 strength. Kiosk Kid. 22nd Gorgoni, 10 PE. Your mom, American English, wasn't around a lot, so to keep you out of trouble, she forced you to get a post-school job you still despise the smell of newspapers. +2 dexterity, +1 charisma. Kind of like a thief build almost, having to live on the streets a bit. Lore enthusiast. Spending time alone in the city, you often ended up at the Darowian Library. The strange history of Jor's realm was a constant companion to you. We get 2 intelligence and 1 wisdom. Okay, a bit more wizard than cleric, but alright. Crowd pleaser. 11 PW, 12 PW, 13 PE. Oh, is this something to do with currencies? Maybe then? Inevitably, you ended up with the wrong crowd. You quickly picked up on the slang and radical terminology, doing anything to get real friends. +2 charisma, +1 intelligence. So it looks like we're getting 3 points for whatever build we go through. Little weirdo, 13 PE. You were a novelty to them, the boy who would do or say anything for their attention, for their approval. After 2 or so years, you got quite good at it and got +3 charisma. Asgalist activist. Cronus 19th, 15 PE. So PE might be a year. It could be an era. Hence the other abbreviations as well. Your friend's son introduced you to the rebellious belly of Norvik. As a teenager, you spent years spreading chaos and worse, dwarf propaganda. Hey, there's nothing wrong with the dwarfs, unless this game presents them really badly. The manifesto, what we learn from the hedonists. There's a picture of a cat with a human hand. Local rally stopped by fascist landlord. So it seems like the dwarfs might be trying to say, look, here, we're the workers, we're the Labour Party, we're the workers' people, right? Ulfgard recruit. I have seen this broken sword in the hero's hands quite a lot in the screenshots on the Steam page. Ingami 3rd, 17 PE. After your arrest, there wasn't much arguing about it. 3 grueling years in training drilled on the city code and virtues, but you survived. 2 strength and 1 dexterity. One friend. 18 PE. You really ever only prayed for that one thing during those lonely years, but the gods did not answer, so you learned to manage, as always. So we are our only friend. 2 dexterity, 1 wisdom. I don't know if he's gonna... They're giving us stats, obviously, but it might have an effect beyond that on gameplay. Acolyte. 19 PW, 20 PE. Your knack for scribbling got you a promotion to the clerical duties. Picked out of the ranks, you quickly showed deep devotion to your divine city. 2 strength, 1 wisdom. So this is more like the battle cleric type build. So, realistically, if it's only giving stats, we want something like 2 wisdom, 1 constitution, or 2 wisdom, 1 charisma. Tower Apprentice. Joining the tower is an honour bestowed upon few. It is also a terrible challenge even for you. Who'd have thought lectures were so draining? 2 intelligence, 1 constitution. Arcane Prodigy. 22 PE. For the first time in your life, you were a natural. You've always known a few cantrips, but real magic was something else. It was power. 2 intelligence, 1 strength. Palace Pawn. 9th Belton, 22 PE. As a rising talent, you often found yourself amidst the politicking of superiors despite your best efforts. It never ended well for you. It almost never does. Faithful Harbinger. 3 question marks. With a stopwatch. Time's running out. There's something wrong. Praying to a dead god whose whispers linger in the air, slowly fading. You are isolated among your peers. 2 constitution, 1 strength. Ah, the dwarven build, the sort of dwarven fighter build. Esoteric expert. Oh, now we're getting onto the... Oh, is this like a druid one from the picture? Elter, 30th, 25 PE. You spent most nights seeking esoteric insight. A lonely life. Your findings were unwanted by those in charge, yet you did not stop. Never. Okay, so digging up the secrets people don't want, maybe not this one. If we can find one with 2 wisdom, 1 charisma, we'll see how that looks then. Revolutionary Scribe. The 3rd of March, 26 PE. Disillusionment. A city with ideals not upheld. One day you chose a side. The emerging democracy. You wrote day and night for change and glory. 2 dexterity, 1 intelligence. Abject apostate. It's not apostate, it's apostate. Something the voice actors in the Dragon Age series were frequently told to mispronounce. It's easier to pronounce it incorrectly, and one of the reasons it's so difficult to pronounce is it's a word we virtually never need to use. No one likes you. When you were demoted for dereliction, no one spoke up against it. But it's fine. You'll be fine. After all, you're used to it. 2 constitution, 1 dexterity. Dead. Cleric. 25th of March, 27 PE. Growing up alone, getting into trouble, training with the Earth Guard, devoting your life and becoming a cleric. Was it always supposed to end in the river? What, like the river Styx? Or... 3 wisdom's pretty powerful. Ah! Punching bag. Oh. So there's none that gives 2 wisdom, 1 charisma. It's an apple. You're a farmer's son who grew up in the city. Of course you'd be an outcast. It took time, but eventually you figured out how to cope with it. Okay, so let's go through these again. Okay, there we are. Asgardian Apologist. Alright, we'll go with that, because dwarfs are simply the best thing ever. So we get proficiency. We don't know what proficiency is, but this does seem to be based on 5th edition, so it'll be to do with having good dice rolls to do with that ability score. So we'll go Constitution. No. Yes. Do we want... We'll go Wisdom as a cleric. Hang on. So, okay, so it's giving us +2. Let's spend some of these points, shall we? We'll put a point in Strength. Point in Constitution. We put a point in everything but Dexterity. So now we're going to do the same, but skip Intelligence. Now we'll put Constitution, Intelligence, Charisma. 2 into Wisdom. 1 into Constitution. 1 Dexterity. 1 Strength. We've got a lot of points to play here, so we'll put 2 there. 2 there. We'll go 15 Wisdom. And of course, even numbers are better. Bump that Intelligence up to, say, a 12. Ooh, we've got 1 point left. Strength. Okay. So if we drop a point of Wisdom, we can put a point in Strength and Dexterity. And that's nowhere near enough Constitution. So we'll take Constitution Proficiency and Wisdom Proficiency. And I think... there we are, we're ready to finish. And there's a pre-built button down at the bottom now, which I should have probably abused to see what bills are available, but hey, we're here now. 5 days until the first ever election. That gives us a bit of a timeline. An explosion erupts at the heart of the city. No one wants to deal with it, so they send you. A slow cleric, lost in the hustle. One with incredibly deep esoteric insight. Complete your quests in any order. Don't be afraid to make interesting choices, and remember to love everyone, no matter what. The campaign will take you from level 1 to 6. We'll play for about 5 to 8 sessions. It's been a journey to put this together. I hope you have a good time. Chris, and only 8 dexterity? Don't try to steal anything, okay? Why did you assume that's what I would do? Speak with Dead, 3rd level necromancy spell. Yep. I don't know if we'll be able to see greater details, but okay, let's start reading and see how much time we get. You grant the semblance of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within range, allowing it to answer the questions you pose. The corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead. The spell fails if the corpse was the target of this spell within the last 10 days. Until the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions, with a 10-minute duration. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer if you are hostile to it or it recognizes you as an enemy. This spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only its animated spirit. Thus the corpse can't learn new information, doesn't comprehend anything that has happened since it died, and can't speculate about future events. And as a 3rd level spell, we should have no ability to utilize that just yet. We are watching this pulsing blob of blueness that has dripped down from the top of the screen. I don't know if I'm supposed to click on it. There is a shape around it visible. Jor. Truth and nothing else, a voice declares. What is your name? Intelligence. Success. Ragan. Your name is Ragan. We are Ragan, apparently. Correct. Oh, the intelligence says we're correct? I'm not sure. You answer. Another question from the Danskness. What is your occupation? We'll look around. We seem to have failed this one. Your senses reach out into the void, a glimmer dangling far, far away. What's an occupation in this context? Work. Getting paid for labor. Didn't you have a job? Something really important? Your class, says Constitution. Tell the voice about your class. Class? What class am I? Lower class, obviously. Not sure any answer is good here. Just go with whatever works in the moment. You're a city cleric, nothing more. I'm awful at everything. I'm definitely a cleric, I think. Your true calling. Is that class conflict? Okay. It takes a while before the next question is posed. What is your current goal? We need to find out who blew up the tea shop. The Goblin Chieftain. She needs you. Why am I being asked all these questions? No clue, but you shouldn't keep them. You should keep them talking. Maybe find out something. I don't know. It's been silent here for far too long. A tea shop exploded? Unfortunately, yes. That's not good. I like tea shops. Or great. I hate tea shops. They should be banned. I don't have any strong opinions on tea shops. In fact, I never think of them at all. Right. If I was playing as me, I don't like tea, but I wouldn't want some place to explode. There could have been people inside at the time. Yeah, that's not good. Let's say our cleric likes tea. They are lovely, yes. You may ruminate further on tea shops at a later date. There is a question to be answered. Your goal is... To find the Goblin Chieftain. Is that right? You know it to be true. No reply. No feedback. Then the voice asks, "What is your political affiliation?" The question strikes your entire consciousness, sending it spinning. Kinda came out of nowhere a bit. If you care for your fellow, vote for the Asgalists. It is the duty of the powerful to lead. That is you, no one else. A strong leader is good. Am I that strong leader? And then, if we go to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, it is like a truth universally accepted that anyone who wants to be in a strong position of power should absolutely not be allowed to do so. The Free Striders, maybe. Then again, you're no revolutionary. Things just moved way too fast these days. Elections are exhausting. It hides in the back of your skull, a fact that you are bound to be a nationalist. A fact? A fact. It frightens you. Your pressure. We have an option to be apolitical. But since I took the whole background and everything, apparently the Asgalists are my political affiliation. Life is a struggle to alleviate oppression. The exiles know this well. You have supported them in the past. Time to do so again. The voice is fading. This is the end. The final question. How did you die? Same way you lived. Unable to step out of the uniform, not for 1 second. I died when he died. I fell into divinity. She took me whole. Regardless of what happened to my mortal frame. Oh, we are plummeting into the depths. It's cold, wet. Are we holding our breath? Or are we already dead? These rays of light have a very divine look to them. And apparently, we have already shuffled off this mortal coil. Almost suspended. Oh, there goes that pocket watch, drifting away from us as we tumble. And now the light shines directly down upon us as we plummet further into darkness, and the noise of the music grows even louder. I may need to do something about that. Esoteric Ebb. The options menu doesn't have much. It has like a colorblind setting, something else, not very much at all. That looks like a zombie. Oh, I'm seeing the Planescape Torment likenesses now, but it's just the beginning, not the whole game. We're lying on a cold stone slab. There's a bunch of cloth, white cloth. Looks like it may be around with a head hole, a red thing, and I presume now we can click on things. But firstly, oh, I pressed the escape key and something happened. Ugh. A fresh start. Let us rise. Your heartbeat is loud, screaming. Your body aches. It's stiff as if you've slept for days. Ready for your glorious quest to continue. We can click on the word quest instead of the options down here. That's interesting. Quest. A task performed by a heroic individual and or professional adventurer. Oh, we have the concept of a professional adventurer in this world. That's a shame, because it's a really bad concept. We can check. We'll look around. We can check our stuff next. First off, where am I? What's going on? Am I in immediate danger? A circular stone chamber. A storage for apples and corpses. Those piles of apples. Is this Tolstad? Tolstad is a sprawling island fortress and one of 5 districts in the city. It sits in the middle of River Torna, home of Jaws Pillar, a sprawling tunnel network and water lane, the greatest trade hub in Ascani. You are on Tolstad right now. Now we will check our belongings. What stuff? Your hands dart around your pouch and uniform. Panic. Sweat. No spellbook, no mace. Face it, you've been robbed. At least. Your legs shake. Tears begin to form. We need to up this constitution. If we can. Deep breaths. Your belongings are surely here somewhere. Wait, what's this about a quest? Oh yes, a quest. You're on a quest to save the city. Oh, not another save the world quest. Those kind of escalate. Earth be blessed. Earth is your god. Save the city? Yes, save it from the jaws of democracy. Democracy, said to originate from early Arcane-era civilizations in Old Diminor, it is the rule of majority. Those with suffrage may vote to enable their preferred government, a truly messy and ineffective process. Do I remember everything? Do I remember anything would be a more important question right now. Yes, everything is off, but your memory is intact. Your quest was given yesterday. Remember, the tea shop. The tea shop? Yep, the tea shop that blew up. Now, if there are 5 days, and we're level 1, and the game will go to level 6, we're probably looking at a level a day, so I shouldn't be desperate to try and watch this climb up too much. It'll be a tough one. Might take days. Just a job? Ah, so I've done this before. Or a quest. I like those. Wait, how much time do I have? So to be clear, I need to figure out who blew up some random tea shop. Okay, wait. How much time do I have? Until the election. Duh. Which is in 5 days. The Patriarch was very clear. Handle the tea shop before election day. The Patriarch, a top clerical rank in Norvik, different from Lord Patriarch, which is the traditional administrative leader of the city. Only about a dozen men currently hold the rank. They manage a section of clerics each at the towers. Wait. You must honour this request and complete this quest. Cleric is a servant of a god, deeply devoted and spiritually connected, typically a divine spellcaster given power through their deity. Time only advances when you make new choices in dialogues. A quest, huh? I suppose I should like those. Good attitude. There's always more around the corner, so look out. Don't want to miss any. So, this is a job. It's as humble and demeaning as a menial task. I've done this before, have I? You haven't, really. Your previous experience lies more in some basic Earth Guard militia service, as well as a few years at the towers. The Earth Guard are the heroes of Norvik, keepers of city law, defenders of humanity. Your brothers. Rogue sorcery was not your main subject, but yes, you've read a lot about these types of fiery events. What? Quests? Or tea shops exploding? So, to be clear, I need to figure out who blew up some random tea shop. We appear to have regained some health while pondering these things, and oh, the aura around us changes with the different ability score. Yes, more or less, says Dexterity. So not only do we have the giant icons here, we have a coloured border around us to let us know which one is currently speaking. So if I scroll up here... Oh no, the artwork isn't there. If I scroll up in the chat log history, I still have a coloured border so that I know which ability score I'm currently dealing with. More or less. So you've got like 5 days to do it, so no stress. There's that feeling again. What, the stress? The feeling that you're about to enter a path from which there is no way back. No way back? That doesn't sound too good. Good or bad, you won't know until you've reached the end. Fate will guide me to a... Ugh! You feel dizzy. The weight of the Earth Guard uniform, a dull pain takes hold. Your body aches, its contents rotting. Oh, that can't be good. You must consume an apple. Now. If your stats are high or low enough, chimes will appear in your mind. They will suggest, inform, and offer unique paths. Trust them at your own risk. Rub your temples. I'm so very confused. Okay, thank you, voices in my head. Well, I think I would like to click on this apple. Behold the apple. An apple looks better than most ones in the pile. Okay, we will trifle with the apple. We will not converse with it. And we run. Can we turn that off and walk? Yes, I want to take the apple. Garden apple. Inventory. We have a 11th to 13th century Crusader sugarloaf helmet, also known as the bucket helmet. This is interesting. It obscures our features entirely, implying that we are far less important than the divinity we serve. It could also be there to keep bad ideas out, or keep good ideas in, or bad ideas in so they don't affect other people. An apple grown in Tolstad. The colours ripple across the surface. Consuming it will save your soul. It's probably a good idea right about now. We've gained a hit point again, going up to 3. We can click on ability scores. Empty feat slot. Unlock feats by completing quest branches. Well, we haven't done that yet. Hit points represent your willpower and health. At none, you go unconscious. Death saving throws are rolled until you either get back up with exhaustion or die. Each level of exhaustion lowers your maximum hit points by 10%. Oh, we better get some more then. Hit point starts at 8 plus Constitution modifier. So this +2 modifier is just for proficiency. It's not an actual proper modifier, so it's not granting hit points. Every additional level adds 5 plus Constitution modifier. Hit dice. Spend 1 in order to short rest for 1 hour. Allows you to restore 1d8 hit points, regain a random spell slot, and unlock all failed ability checks. You regain your hit dice on a long rest. Your maximum amount of hit dice is equal to your level. Proficiency. This amount is added onto your ability score modifier if you're proficient in that ability score. It becomes +3 at level 5. And experience. Your current amount of XP. Gain more by speaking with characters, completing quest branches, pickpocketing, casting spells, and exploring the city. Now, many people who haven't been around that long might not know why experience points is XP and not EP. That is because in Dungeons and Dragons Basic, before Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, Electrum pieces were a currency. You had what? Platinum pieces, gold pieces, silver pieces, Electrum pieces, and copper pieces. The Electrum pieces were like half a gold. And people didn't like using them because, honestly, they would go, why can't we just have... An Electrum piece was worth 10 silver pieces and 2 Electrum pieces were 1 gold piece. And people would just complain, why can't it be 10 silver to the gold instead of 20? And that's exactly what they did in 2nd edition. So then the Electrum piece changed to being worth 5 silver pieces, but the old adventures still had more silver and copper in them because they were pre the change in the conversion rates, which meant that you'd actually get slightly more money doing older adventures. What is this? Practically your face. Do not take it off. We probably don't have the constitution or strength to take it off. Okay, what are these? Questing tree. Woohoo! Things and stuff. Tea shop exploded, right? The tea shop that blew up. Your purpose on Tolstad is to investigate an exploding tea shop. Locate this establishment and gain entry. Okay. Class conflict. You've declared yourself the cleric of Norvik one single time. It's a grand title suitable for a true human cleric like yourself. I mean, we're not the cleric of Norvik. Oh, and there's things here, so other classes? Election week. The first ever election in Norvikian history will take place in just a few days' time. What will you vote for? Well, just because I vote for something doesn't mean it will win. That's the horrible thing about democracy. You don't get what you vote for often enough. I was going to say something there and decided not to. No, sod it, I will. So, where I live, the same political party, it doesn't matter which, has won every election since 1913. Or 1908, I can't remember which. I think 1908 was the last time this place was in another party's hands. So voting in elections here can often feel a bit futile, unless you like that political party. In other places, it's more volatile and flexible. You've talked about positive opinions on Asgalism about one single time ever since waking up in the Lich House. Really brings you back. Okay, so what else do we have here? Asgalis. So these look like political affiliations, class, identity. There doesn't seem to be anything else here. So this, at first, looks like a skill tree, but a quest tree. So one quest might lead to another and another. We have our infantry, we have our helm, and that's all. What's this? It's floating and we can't interact with it. Right, journal. Ooh, we have a map. City. Skills. This glossary is empty. Fine. Tolstad. A sprawling island fortress and one of 5 districts in the city. It sits in the middle of River Torna. Home. Okay, so I'm just checking if this is anything we've... This seems to be a summary of things we've seen before. It's not greater information. And spellbook. These buttons match these along the top. Cure wounds. We have a plus we can put next to it. First level. And a drop down. Okay, so it's just about information. A creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to 1d8 plus your wisdom ability modifier. This spell has no effect on undead or constructs. Okay, so it's not like the reverse healing from 1st and 2nd edition then. Actually, 3rd did feature that a bit as well. Right. How do we close this? There we go, just same icons. So. This isn't yours, is it? I mean, it might as well be. It may have once been. A tattered cloak. Ooh. The cloak is sprawled upon the iron slab. As you grab it, you immediately feel the dampness spreading into your gloves. It is light blue and tattered, like our surcoat. Actually, that's it. Right, technically this is a surcoat because it's not open at the sides, so it can't be a tabard. And it was once yours, so now the choice is to resume our identity or cast it aside. An Earthguard cloak add-on. It has been ripped to shreds at the base, but you could still use it. Please don't, this thing is disgusting. Let's weigh it in our hands. It is heavy. We'll wring out the water. That should lighten it quite a bit and make us less likely to catch pneumonia or something. The filthy liquid falls to the floor of the stone chamber. It smells of salt water. Do we also smell of salt water? We might. Or the cloak could just have been left there and not hung up to dry anywhere while we sort of dried out on the slab. It's still quite wet. Should I wear this? No, says Charisma. I mean, I'm a rogue, yes, I'm not... Let's wear it. But I'm not a rogue. I'll think about it. You reach for your fancy red pouch of holding. The cloak easily slips inside into the extra-dimensional space with a satisfying slurp. I really love my pouch of holding. Well, by the gods, I can fit so many items in this thing. Yes, you are very lucky. There are, like, 1,000,000 crowns on the market. Crowns, the Norvikian crown, the main coinage in Norvik. Norvik is your home city, founded by your god towards the end of the Coast War. Were there some wizards involved? Did they live down by the coast playing card games and then buy everything and ruin it for everyone? It is built upon several layers of ancient ruins. The coast, also known as Jor's Realm. It is a strip of land divided into 8 bands. The further inland you go, the closer you get to the infinite wastes. It is theorized to be a ring or a half-sphere due to the bend of the horizon. The band is an esoteric divide, which splits the circular coast of Jor into 8 geographic areas, commonly known as bands. Each band has unique esoteric and natural traits, and stretches from the coast to the infinite wastes. Esotericism, the magic of Jor and his strings. The coast is infused with it. And Jor is the name of our realm, also the name of the legendary wizard who created it. He died during the closing, at the end of the Gate era, where they literally closed the gate. Wizard, a book-learned arcane spellcaster, typically plays Jor's strings by memorizing and executing esoteric rituals and chants. This kind of magic item can go upwards of 10,000 crowns. Of course, you don't truly own this pouch of holding. No, it belongs to my religious order, I suppose. It is property of the state. Treat it as such. Equipping items temporarily alters your ability scores, as was evidenced by the information pop-up on the cloak when we gained it. The cloak will grant us +1 dexterity, -1 charisma. We will... I want to see if it... Can we just pop it on here? It does visibly represent. Obviously, that doesn't particularly help us one way or the other. 1 point isn't very much, 2 points is something, so until it amounts to something, all we're doing is losing out on our ability to make friends and influence people, because it's a bit knackered. The ends are torn. It's a stretch to even call it a cloak. Yeah, it barely goes below the shoulders, really. Can we zoom out? We can zoom out a little. And what would this be? A divine shrine covered in apples. The Shrine of Earth. These runes fill your senses as you approach. The colour is faded. This monument is hollow, void of all life and divinity, and yet perhaps we should still pray, still make obeisance anyway. And worse, it's covered in rotten apples. You know, one bad apple spoils the bunch. At least we found a good one. A sacred shrine left in this state? It's an insult to Earth and all of his people. These old things are still around, huh? What, the shrine? Oh, is it rare? Can I pray here? Of course I can. But this is terrible that it has fallen in such a bad way. Indeed. Yet you are very much aware that this is not the worst you'll see. No, there's a zombie over there. You'll have to fight hard to keep Earth's dreams afloat. The city is lost, but it is not yet lost. Let's remove some of the apples from the shrine. It does not take long for you to move some of the nasty apples away from the front of the shrine. A small improvement, but big in the heart. Are these shrines rare? No, you will find shrines like this all over Norvik. Can I pray here? To what, exactly? To Earth, of course. There are many gods listening to your prayers, always. Just remember that they might not respond so clearly. Earth. I need to pray to Earth. You may pray as you wish. There's an internal element to it that is underappreciated. Let's kneel before the shrine. The shrine towers over you. You feel small. To cast spells, you must first prepare them at shrines. Prepared spells can be cast when the cleric has a reason to do so, either in or out of dialogues. Each cast expends one spell slot of the corresponding level. Wait, can't I heal here through Divine Assurance or something? This isn't like World of Warcraft, you know. Let's prepare spells. Wait, what other gods are there? Many. You know a few. Earth, Father of Norvik. You've devoted your life to follow in his footsteps. Asgal Ashmasked. Asgal Ashmask was a dwarven god of exiles and egalitarianism. A dwarf of a low caste, born deep in the Lechem Muraz tunnels. When he attained divinity, in 443 AE, he crushed the kingdoms and formed the Asgal Folkhem Forge. On his death, in 470 AE, a great civil war broke out, resulting in the exiling of all his followers to the surface, but his influence was felt around the undercoast and above, as his exiled dwarfs spread Asgalism to all corners of Jor. The undercoast is a nickname for the undersea coast. A gravity-reversed cavern, sea and archipelago, right underneath the coast. Dig deep far enough and you'll end up passing through the gravity flip, and then you can make the climb to the undercoast. His followers do not pray to him, for he is not even seen as a god by most. And Tokig the Gambler. A trickster, the type of god only famous for his ridiculous ploys. Tokig the Gambler is often seen as a silly goblin myth. A trickster goblin who united the tribes of Ascani during the Divine Era, most famous for cutting off his right hand to fulfill a prophecy. The Ascani are the... Okay, yeah, the bands. Got it. In truth, there are few goblins who still worship him after the conquest. Praying to Tokig would, if you for some reason would get a response, only result in the exact opposite of whatever you wanted. I'm done. So you are. Let us prepare spells. We seem to only have the one spell to prepare. To right, you may view a list of all your available spells. In order to cast spells, you need to first prepare them by approaching shrines, which are scattered around the city. For each spell you wish to prepare, fill in its empty slot to the right. So we go like this. Bop. You may only prepare a spell if you have a spell slot of the corresponding level available, and we see it down at the bottom there. To the bottom left, you may view your current spell slots. Each circle represents one slot which you may expend to cast a spell. You may only cast spells when there is a use for them. When a spell is castable during specific situations and dialogues, the spell tile button of that particular spell will be lit up. Spell tile buttons can be found next to your spell slots once you have finished preparing your spells. Is there a way we can learn new spells like that scroll there? Let us finish. And then this scroll. Divine scripture where it does not belong. Let us rescue it. Shield of Faith. Memorized Shield of Faith. We now have a new spell. Well, we know what to do. How many spells may we memorize? Let us prepare spells. So, Cure Wounds and Shield of Faith. Excellent. I don't know if there's a limit to how many spells we can prepare. But there we go. There are many bad apples. A pile of apples. Let us engage with the apples. You stare at a pile of apples. Apples are good for you. These apples are not in pristine condition, however. Whose apples are these? Not yours. Correct. The only apple farm in Norvik would be the Goblin Garden. These apples are property of the HBWT. The Goblin Garden is a dwarven-built citadel sitting at the southernmost top of Tolstad. It is now a goblin sanctuary and greenhouse. Should these be stored alongside corpses? No, it's a health hazard. Of course not, it's nasty. Oh, that might be a goblin, not a zombie. Right. Could I make my way through this pile of apples? Probably not. I'd probably die. They're so bad. And there's so many. We'll nod to the pile and take our leave. Now, would it be possible let's just do this. Cure Wounds spell. Cast Cure Wounds using a first level spell slot. Yes, we shall. On ourselves. We gained 3 plus 4 is 7. We're on full health. Now then. What is this? A vase of leaves. Smells lovely. Quite nice. It's a corpse under a blanket. You stare at a blue rag. It's draped over the outline of someone. We could say, "Sir, you can't sleep down here." I see, it must be normal to take naps down here. No, we won't check under it. Let him sleep. He must have had a rough day. He's probably dead. What is this? This question mark I cannot click on. There is something here. Is it a spirit in the walls? There it is again. The air is cool in here. An esoteric effect. Probably for the storing of corpses and apples. A very important piece of paper. It might have been something to do with me. Voting card. -1 intelligence. Yeah, that's about right. A scuffed voting card made out to Ragnar Hemlin. And if we think our name is Ragan, could be Ragnar. It's from a dwarven office for some reason, and someone has checked in all 5 parties on the list. Well, you're not allowed to do that. You need to bring this to a polling place on election day if your voice is to be heard. But I'm not allowed to... Oh, a space to write our name at the bottom if we're an idiot. You pick up the surprisingly thick piece of paper with a shaking hand. Is it like that sort of thick, like watercolour paper? I can't remember what it's called. The card is slightly torn and has clearly been drenched at some point. At the top it says Rustcourt in big bold lettering. 5 days remaining. Oh, right, there's an election. Oh! It was nice to not think about it for once. We should just get a god king again. Worked great last time. That'll be for the best. Unfortunately, there's no good candidate available. How does this thing work? After you pick it up at a district office, you only need to check the box of one of the 5 parties. Yes, someone's ruined it by, Then you deliver it on election day to a polling place. Although in your case, you'll need to write the name of the party you want in the corner, along with a signature because someone's marked more than one box. Since you've filled out every box like an idiot. This is your one vote. You should indeed take care of it. We'll look at the list of parties. Nationalist Party of Norvik. The Inheritors of Earth's Will, a theocratic organization founded to uphold the old ways, headed by magistrates and 20-something noble families, who have experience governing and ruling, so they'll theoretically, if they're not too selfish, be better at it than others. Freestrider Revolutionary Party. Well, they can fuck right off then, can't they? The New Way. People in the East have overthrown the old wizards and gods. For years, the revolution has slowly creeped into the city. Now it's time to finally join the Free Cities and get rich. The Free Cities are a collection of city-states in reeds, all united under the golden banner of Freestriderism. Norvik will join them one way or another. No, it better not. The Reeds are one of 8 bands along the coast. It is a temperate land of lowland and many lakes, commonly seen as the homeland of humans. Large portions are still cursed, holding entire undead cities, eternally burning valleys, and floating mountains. Humans are tall and beautiful like yourself, known as the pest of the coast by those who are less inclined to reproduce like rabbits. Asgalists, Workers' Party. The workers who built this city want to rule it. Seems only just. Their vision is of a fair and even society where those who live underneath rise up to show their worth. After all, why can't we share? I think I might need to change my vote. The Agrarian Rural Party. Those who live off the earth. Simple farmers, people of the land, the common clay of Ascani fields. Their political movement has mostly been swallowed by the Asgalists. So they're the Green Party. Wait, because it seems like the Asgalists are Labour. The Nationalist Party of Norvik is Conservatives. Let's see if these continue looking like parties we recognise. So Asgalists would be, the Agrarian would be the Green Party, obviously. Arcanists, Party of Magic. The Magicrats who ruled pre-Coast War human civilizations in Old Diminor. Also a very minor political party in Norvik. And Diminor, so would Dexterity be the Monster Raving Loony Party, or would that be Charisma? Diminor, the Arcane Era, named for reeds. The Arcane Era name for reeds, often referred to as Old Diminor. The name was changed by Freestrider revolutionaries to mark the end of the old magocracies, and the Arcane Era was 511 years of rapid magical and technological growth, as well as the birth and death of the great human magocracies in Diminor, now reeds, ended 27 years ago. And finally, the last box doesn't say anything. This is where you can input whatever you want, or just leave it empty for a null vote. The box next to each party is filled in with a smudged checkmark, including the last empty one. Smart move. No one could get mad if you vote for every party, but you only get one vote. Idiotic. You need to pick a side and stick with it. Your honour is on the line. Well, voting shouldn't be tribal. You should pay attention to the policies they have and then decide which policies you think they're going to be able to enact if they get in, which ones you dislike but think they won't be able to get away with, which you think they'll prioritise, and unfortunately it'll probably be the bad ones that are more unique and less popularist, and which of these parties will do the least damage and the best job if they... so you don't just go, oh, I'm voting for this party every time. You take a look and see what, it's not about looking at what they stand for, it's looking at these specific policies at the specific election. And if they say they want you to join the European Union, you tell them to fuck right off and never vote for them ever again until they change their mind. Are these all the parties, or are there more? No. There are about a dozen other large parties in Norvik, like Liberal Democrats or Monster Raving Loony Party, or DUP, or the SNP, or Clyde Cymru. We know about Norvik. Most have been subsumed over the last few years, such as the Civic League of Progressives, the Torch Union, Order of the Scales, Hedonist Party, and the various guild parties. Okay, the Hedonist Party might be Monster Raving Loony Party, to be honest. The Agrarians and Arcanists are the only ones who have not joined a larger party or fallen aside. Well, it's good to know all this information. And we should probably interact with this bugger up here, see what's going on. Wait. A great mountain of apples. A guy, he looks indecisive. Trifle, we're not going to try and rob him. You approach a shambling man by the apple pile. He could be a goblin zombie. He does not acknowledge your presence. Greetings, citizen. Glancing under his hood, you catch a blank expression spread upon a dried face. We're not going to poke him. What is your name, sir? He does not even turn to look at you. Why is this man not listening to me? His glassy dark eyes just stare forward into nothing. This is a reanimated corpse. Sir, are you a member of the undead? I don't think he's going to answer if he is. What's he doing? The zombie is attempting to clear a path through the apple pile. Well, it's going to take him a long time, and he has all the time in the world. He's probably been at it for a long time, and as it will just keep falling down and filling in the space, it's a pretty fruitless exercise. Should I defeat this zombie? It's not causing any harm, or... I don't think I should. I found this voting card over here. Is it yours? The zombie does not even grunt in your direction. He just keeps working, slowly. You grip the voting card firmly in your gloved hand. It is indeed yours. Keep it safe. You're very rude, do you know that? Is that to the zombie or to strength? I'm thinking of voting for the Nationalists. They've got a good plan for the future of the city. The Freestrider Revolution will be good for the city, I think, don't you? We need to establish an Asgardist government. It's the only way for us average peasants to not fall back into the oppression of feudalism, or worse, mediocracy. No, see, a feudal government would actually be much better than the fucking ridiculous democracy we have at the moment. And I mean a proper feudal government, because currently the courtiers are running the court, and the king isn't doing anything. All because King John was such a shit king that the barons forced him to sign Magna Carta. Everything surrounding this so-called democratic process is madness. Everyone should just vote for me to be their god wizard king. That way I can solve all their problems through magical dictatorship. That sounds almost perfect, but maybe I shouldn't be the one to be the magical god king. I don't have a political opinion, so I guess I don't need this voting card. Well, from what I've seen, I'm playing a peasant who has been oppressed by the system, has seen the people at the bottom and how their lives could be better. And maybe the ruling classes in this world are really obnoxious, greedy, leeching off the poor, treating them really badly. And we have been an Asgardist sympathiser in the past. I'm not sure that this is specifically tying us into voting for one party or another. This is... I'm thinking of voting for the Nationalists. They've got a good plan for the future of the city. They want good, but their methods have lost the soft touch of Earth. The zombie just keeps moving through apples. With the patriarchs in power, we'll get rid of all you undead, and all the other evils in Norvik once and for all. I don't need to tell him. We'll bring about a human utopia, the last of its kind on the coast. Although, I suppose they don't have the greatest track record ever since Earth faded. The fleshy ball plank does not reply to counter your words. Am I boring you? I should just stop talking to this thing and walk away. The zombie carefully places another apple at the top of the pile. A Sisyphean effort. He does not have an opinion of any kind. So we can do this again to... Hang on, found this voting card. Is it yours? So we can... We need to establish an Asgardist government. It's the only way for us average peasants to not fall back into the oppression of feudalism, or worse, mediocracy. Is it oppressive? A government with a heart. Yes, so we are getting experience points for exploring information on each party. The social democratic model of the dwarfs is ingenious. Oh, it's literally social democrats. They don't even exist as a party anymore, I think. They kind of got subsumed into other parties. Just balanced enough to work out our human and dwarven majority populace. A true working class revolution is clearly needed. Cooperative ownership of the guilds is the first step, just like Earth established with Norvikians' collectivized agriculture. As long as we don't collapse like the original Asgardian undercoast state did, or the Vishka kingdoms, or the Three Wings of Divini Torum, or the... oh god, it really sounds like socialism, doesn't it? The zombie doesn't say... Am I boring you? Yeah, I probably shouldn't talk to you about politics. You're a zombie. The zombie carefully places another apple at the top of the pile. It still doesn't have an opinion. Let's just leave. I don't see a need to... Oh, that's why I would attack the zombie. Because I literally can't walk past it to get to this space over here. In which case, there are stairs. We do not even have a weapon. I don't think we should attack the zombie. Perhaps we should return, though. As that looks like a book on top of a box there. Or, I don't think we can move the camera around without moving our character. So what is this here? There is something back here. This guy, he just won't move. Maybe we should attack him. There's things back here. Possibly some of my things. Look, you. Trifle. A wisdom tooth. Pickpocket item. No, our dexterity is not that great. Look, you. Should I defeat this zombie? Yes, it is only just. Undead are not to be allowed in Norvik. Sir, you appear to be a member of the undead. He does not respond. Not even a groan. How disappointing. Well, let's attack the zombie then and get the shit kicked out of us. Yes, deal with this foul creature. Encounters are turn-based conflicts where each participant takes turns in rolling dice and taking actions. We got a picture of us, picture of the zombie. During your turn, you're able to perform one dice action as well as cast one spell of your choosing. The order is determined by an initiative roll. Don't let this shambler get the jump on you now. Dexterity check, let's roll initiative. And save the word bitch, apparently, for some reason. Well, natural 20. Mater fornicator. Round 1. Fight! It's Mortal Kombat with a zombie. And we don't even have a weapon. How are you slower than a damned zombie? Oh, it got the natural 20. I did wonder, because we got a 10. The zombie's turn. The slow zombie just stands there. It doesn't even know it's a fight yet. No, he's reacting. It's just taking some time. Your turn. Show no mercy. I want to cast Shield of Faith. Let's shove the zombie. Constitution. We can have a good try at that. The zombie didn't do anything yet. Sure. Keep our composure. I wanna Shield of Faith. Yeah! Let's keep our composure. You keep your composure. Wait and see. And we failed. Your body doesn't listen to command. It shakes, moving back and forth, side to side. The hideous zombie is repulsive and going to kill us. Fight or flight. Fight! Putting your weight into it, you push the zombie backwards. Presumably with both hands. He attempts to stabilize himself while stumbling around. The zombie is hostile. His neck snaps around, the withered face now facing yours. We've got his attention. Yeah, you really pissed him off. You can tell since you're such a people person. The zombie bites down on you hard. Ah! Shield of Faith blocks 1 damage. Well, that's good. That's something. It hurts, even through the armor. We need to boost that constitution. This undead abomination must be apprehended before he causes damage to innocents. Does that include you? Well, yes, but primarily others. You should probably try to de-escalate this. Just a tip. Switch gears. Try to manipulate him. How? We'll grab him by his arm. Oh, for The zombie easily throws you back in an almost convulsing, flailing... That doesn't... With an almost... That doesn't make... This is not a full sentence. How strong is this foul creature? It's a zombie. So it doesn't have much life keeping it... This ends now! Again, the zombie snaps its mouth at you. This time, it latches on hard. Your final chance. Do not falter. Finish this with a sucker punch. Finish him. Oh! Knock him out. Knock, a second level transmutation spell, unlocks things. The definition of locked has been stretched over the centuries, but the spell works on most undead containers, or most closed containers or entryways. Yes, goes strength. Smite the evil. Strength's going. Catching your breath, you stare at the now unmoving creature. Justice dispensed. Strength might be a little over-enthusiastic sometimes. Now go loot him, get that fancy tooth that we saw earlier. Otherwise, dexterity might not know about the tooth, might not mention it. Victory! Well, there is a body. A guy. He's not moving. Not anymore. A wisdom tooth gives +1 wisdom. Well, we're a cleric. We like wisdom. We have a tooth. A filed tooth in decent condition. You feel a tingle in your palm when you hold it. Yes, let's keep that on us. So now we can find an item that gives -1 wisdom and a bonus to some other stats. But more importantly, there are things over here. Imported goods. The receiver is marked as HWBT. A basket of apples. Some look okay-ish. Well, maybe we can pull out... Oh yeah, 3 apples. 3 garden apples. And since we are injured, let's consume an apple. Just one. And save the other 2 for later. An almost empty box, except for a stale treat and a pouch. A cardamom treat. Cardamom? That's not how you spell... and some coins. A traditional Norvikian baked bread. It's famous around the coast. Or if it's not, it should be. It looks like one of those things with the big sort of salt bits on top and the things like salt. Kind of very, very Dutch or German. Okay. What else back here that we can interact with? A crate filled with sand. On top of some boards at a very awkward angle. You approach a crate filled with sand. We will inspect the crate. Now we'll obviously look at the sand first. There might be something in it. The crate is filled to the brim. It's just sand. I don't know. Let's inspect the crate. You notice a little marking on the back with the letters HBWT. We've been seeing that a lot recently. And oh hey, weapon. The lid has been tossed behind it. Let's touch the sand. Your gloved hand trails across the surface. The sand shifts slightly at your touch. What? Is it growing? Underlined choices are more risky, but might offer more reward. There could be a snake over there or something. We should have gone picked up. Let's pull back. As you attempt to lift your hand, you notice something. Oh. Oh no. The sand appears to have covered it. Yes, there's sand on our hand. In an instant. Pulling you down. Wait, what? Your shoulder is almost pulled out of its socket. Ah! You manage to keep it from engulfing most of your arm, but in the process the sand grabs onto the front of your helmet. It's going to force its way into my head. I should have picked that weapon up. Your face is now sinking into the sand. A sizzling groan fills your ears. Screaming isn't good. We need to breathe. We'll fight it. I should give up, right? The sand will be a benevolent master. No, I'll fight it. Fight! You grab the rim of the crate with both hands. But as you put your entire adrenaline-filled arms to work, you feel energy being sapped from your veins. You are being sucked. Oh, can I just, heal myself right now? I can! Okay, well, let's wait till I'm out of your skin. As you keep pushing, you realize you could get out at this point. However, then you would have to leave the helm behind. Damn it! We'll try and keep our helmet on. Your muscles turn to mush as you stop your struggle. Let's escape without losing our helmet. We are supposed to keep it on, damn it. You grab the rim of the crate with both hands. The hazy noise of a head no longer filled with so much blood screams in your ears. I will not die in this crate! Filled with pure fires of adrenaline, your muscles creak and your bones crack. And it pays off. Within seconds, the rock-hard grip of the sand loosens. The rock is a gigantic bird, a beast born through esoteric means. There are a handful of them found throughout the skies of Ascani. It has nothing to do with rocks. No, it's like Sinbad the Sailor. Then, it drops entirely. You swing your head back, filling your lungs with air as a trail of sand follows you. Within an instant, the sand snaps back into the crate, not a single grain dropping to the floor. You stumble back. Glancing over to the crate, you see its content now lies still, like nothing happened, until someone touches it again. That is a malicious entity. You should put on the lid to make sure this does not happen to someone else. Am I alive? We'll shake our head to get rid of the sand in our ears. It helps. Let's carefully put back on the lid on the crate. You take a very, very careful step towards the crate to grab the lid. Then you place it gently on top. Your job here is done. I've done a great service to the community. And nearly died in the process. What's this? A glow glass. Very common magic item. And this? A slightly broken, standard issue Earthguard blade. That's more than slightly broken, mate. A broken sword. Aha! So if we equip the sword, a standard issue Earthguard blade, one-handed usage, lightweight, crap quality, makes you feel like a big man, an agent of the state. It's also broken in half, but if you lean technically, you might be able to hide that fact from your enemies. Gives 1 strength, takes 1 wisdom, but we're getting wisdom from a wisdom tooth, so it balances out. We can equip this if we really want to. Let's not do that. If we can get another charisma boosting item, I'll put on the cloak as well, because we don't... Dexterity 9 won't really do anything for us. Stairs down, as well as up, and a doorway out. Well, we can go up or down. Technically, if we go up, there's a limit to how far we can go. There might be people upstairs who will notice us. Ah, stairs leading down, far into the city below. If we go down, we can go down to the ground and beyond. I think, in the interest of aspiring to rise up, a spiral staircase, ancient architecture. Let us make use of it. There are 3 types of dialogue choices. Spoken choices. Oh, they're just gone. Okay. Viscon's lair. Oh god, this looks very bright and colourful for a lair. Good morning, cleric. You, I presume, must be Viscon. What's this? We'll just ignore him and... Mushrooms. Probably edible. Yeah, let's just... Uh-oh. The Red Eye of Earth. Jaw left his mark across the bands. Today it is a universal sign of magic. Well, since we've been greeted... Hey, that looks like mine. Viscon. Local mortician. PDRIDP DW UEIUL PT. Oh shit, it's Anglo-Saxon runes, not Norse runes, so they're harder to read. Wait, oh, these have difficulty associated? God knows. Behold. Yeah, we got nothing. We'll have to wait till we rest. Right. The pale man sits hunched over a stack of forms, busy at work, his pencils slowly filling out line after line. On the top paper you see an icon of a serpentine drake, and there appears to be a kobold with a crossbow there, so we shouldn't mess with him. That's probably his security system. Also, probably shouldn't mess with that chest. Probably shouldn't pick the mushrooms, just... A great perch. These are official documents of the city. Isn't a great perch a fish? A drake-like sea creature found along the River Torna. Earth was known to tame these creatures, and eventually the great perch became the symbol of his great city. That is the great perch of Norvik. Up and about, are we? Wonderful. He looks tired. That looks like a scalpel. I am Visken, local entrepreneur and proprietor of this lich house. It appears you don't really belong here, but if there is anything I can do, cleric, just let me know. He smiles at you. Yet his eyes say something else. That he doesn't want to help me? That I do belong here? The Lich House is a mortuary, a holding space for dead bodies. During times of undeath, they are known to be heavily guarded. Let's look around the room. Dimly lit and damp, a musky stench lingering in the air. You see books and flasks and stone altars around the circular chamber. There are several corpses present. These stone tables were once modular altars used in some advanced ritual, presumably to sacrifice things or bring the corpses to life or something. I woke up below. Yes, I know. Maybe you should ask why instead of stating the obvious. In full armor. Earthguard's finest. Oh, Earthguard's finest. On one of those stone slabs. Uh-huh. Next to a wet cloak. Apologies. I told Urs to throw that thing away. Why? He puts down his pen. I'm afraid to say you've been through quite the turmoil, cleric. I think you'd better tell me everything. Of course, it must be confusing. To tell the truth, some fishermen brought you here last night. They caught you in their net, took you for a corpse. Not that I blame them, you weren't exactly in prime condition. Fair enough. You quite literally live in this filthy uniform. No wonder they thought you were dead. Who were these fishermen? River Guilders, I believe. They did not look like poachers, so my guess would be that. How did I end up in the river? He's going to say he doesn't know, but I should ask anyway, because I want to know. Not a river, the river. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell. Perhaps you fell off one of the bridges to Tolstad. There are 7 bridges over River Torna connecting Tolstad to the rest of the city. I would never fall. It must have been an assassination attempt, or I must have slipped. Happens all the time. Dexterity's not that high. Perhaps there is an esoteric explanation to all of this. Perhaps. You would know, cleric. Where can I find these fishermen? So I am, in fact, alive. The pale man stops for a moment. He looks you up and down. Yes. I believe you are. Where can I find these fishermen? He ponders your question. I did not ask for names, sorry to say. But perhaps Water Lane? That's just a guess. Water Lane, the largest trade port in Norvik, located in a massive tunnel piercing the centre of Tolstad. It is a so-called marvel of dwarven engineering, and it's the reason so many people commute to Tolstad over the many bridges, considered as one of the greatest crafted wonders of the world. Good guess. Lots of boaters hang out there. Either that or the local tavern. I hope you find them. I don't think he hopes that at all. I have some other questions, I think. Do you now? Let's figure out what's strange about this man. -2 different... Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. Wait, it said difficulty 15. I got it was like difficulty 13, difficulty 31. You glare at the pale man, who keeps working on his documents for approximately 2 minutes. Yeah, he can't read our expression through the helmet very much. Eventually you feel stuck in your thoughts. I don't mean to imply I know more than an honourable Earth Guardian member, my good cleric. However, you must certainly have more important things to do on a day like this. He's correct. Maybe you can get back to this later. I mean, he's some kind of vampire or necromancer, surely. Some dice checks are locked on failure and can't be attempted again later. Does that mean this one? Or not? These checks are unlocked on a long or short rest, or by spending shards of jaw. Almost looks like shards of joy. We have none of either. But a roll with a very high DC should probably be lowered before attempting again. Yeah, we should go down to the cellar and check on stuff. I wish you luck with your endeavours. There's a zombie in your cellar. Oh, how quaint. No, an undead abomination right below. That's not an appropriate response. Sure. Why is it there? We're closely connected with the city below. The undead seemingly wander as they please. The city below is short for the city below the city, a phrase used to describe the incredible amount of tunnels and ruins below Norvik. Lots of monsters and stuff down there. Also riches if you delve deep enough, which means going down those stairs downstairs may be very risky after all. However, I will have to take this up with Lady Sageleaf. I pay good crowns for HWBT protection. Like that kobold over there. Oh, so it's all a misunderstanding then. Good. Well, it kept moving apples down there. Wait, no, I don't actually believe you. Well, I don't, but I shouldn't necessarily call it out. You don't seem very alarmed about this. A stray undead creature will cause no trouble here. He gives you a rare smile and turns to the kobold by the stairs. Isn't that right, Erst? Yes, master. It kept moving apples down there. Oh, the apples? Fascinating behaviour. I think it was trying to reach something buried beneath the apples. He does not appear very fascinated. We probably shouldn't tell him about the magical tooth either. Well, I defeated the zombie, so no need for worry. No need to worry. I don't think he will. You? Anger. Well done, cleric. What would we ever do without you? Yeah, he probably didn't want that to happen. Oh boy, he didn't like that, did he? Great to have that cleared up. I have some other questions. I shouldn't confront him. He's a very difficult, powerful figure. Shoot. I require assistance with some things. Of course, cleric. Anything for the city. You called me cleric? I did, yes. I am the cleric. Why do I have to be anything? Good point. I am the cleric, yes. Good for you. An example of that sarcasm thing mentioned before. Your purpose is here. You serve the city as a cleric of the river. A waterlogged, sodden creature. Better get my armor clean before it rusts. Though I'd love to ask, what type of cleric are you? Type? There are types? Yes, if you're a clergyman, you might run a congregation for a local religion or deity. Holy man, on a holy mission. Then there are clerics of the bureaucratic variety, city officials speaking for the religious state. Yeah, we're probably in that role, unfortunately. Rules are meant to be broken. You're not some stiff councilman. You, however, must be an arcane cleric. Arcane, one of the three pillars of magic. It is represented by the forces that make up all esoteric events. Those who play Jaws strings tap into these powers, programming the laws of existence around their whims. Jaws strings, the ley lines of esoteric power that hold the realm together. No, I'm a basic clergyman. I'm a boring bureaucrat. Yes, no, I am the chosen one. You are correct. I appear to be an arcane cleric, as I have demonstrated downstairs by healing my wounds. I figured as much when I saw your spellbook, or do you call it a prayer book? Either way, you clearly played Jaws strings as much as you channel this divinity. Sounds like not very much. It's being sarcastic again. The pale man knows a lot of your training. Interesting. So, what do you know about spellcasting? Quite a bit. He seems wary on the subject. How do I get more spells? Thing is, we're having to learn spells. We're not just a typical cleric who has all of them. Two ways. You could spend time learning them, drafting pages out of the palace archives. The palace, an unofficial nickname for the current rulers of Norvik, named after the palace district in which most central authority resides. The Palace District is one of 5 districts in Norvik, home of aristocrats, bureaucrats, and remnants of Earth's court. Or the great library and the towers, since you obviously would have some access to that. The towers are the home base of the Order of Arcane Clerics of Norvik, also known as the OACN, or Oaken. The Oaken, no one calls it that. Nobody calls it that at all. However, I don't believe you have time for either of those options. So I would suggest the other route. What's that? Spell scrolls. Ah, right. Scrolls with spells on them. Probably shouldn't tell him I took one downstairs. It didn't belong to me. Well, it might have done, actually. Indeed. Now, Tolstad is filled with all kinds of strange caches, so you'll probably encounter more by just looking around. If you get your hands on a scroll, then just memorize it. Cantrips or spells, doesn't matter. I'm sure you're talented enough to memorize them on the spot. I am! Okay, well, sure, thanks. He nods to you and goes back to his writing. Can you teach me magic? A slight smirk creeps onto his face. It's more, can we learn, or is he inclined to? I sadly don't have time for a proper lecture at the moment. After the election, I could make time, if you're interested. Great knowledge awaits. Beware, his tutelage holds great evil. Yeah, I suspect that about him. Until then, you are free to browse my collection, he says, glancing at the many books along the western wall. Oh, really? And of course, here. A copy of Charm Person. It will surely be useful to you. A truly diabolical spell. The towers teach it only to higher tier spellcasters, usually despite its first level. That's a great shortcut to charming people, although you gotta be careful with the fallout. If you care about such things, yeah, they might not like me much afterwards. That's all I have to ask about spellcasting for now. Very well. If you want to practice, feel free to cast anything non-lethal on my servant Erst. Wow, that's evil. Treating a servant like that is despicable. Sounds like good practice. I won't do that. In fact, it sounds quite awful. Fair enough. Just remember that spells are terribly useful when applied properly. And I suspect that applying them to your servant is not a proper usage. That's all the help I need. Thanks. Great. Anything else you wanted to ask? No, I think I'll just be going for now. Before you do, make sure to collect all your belongings. What are all my belongings? Quite a lot. Your uniform, your cloak, and also a voting card? A peculiar voting card. Every party had been marked on it. I'm assuming it's yours. Yeah, sorry, I'm indecisive. I'm not sure if it is mine. Maybe? Possibly? The pale man ignores your comment. I asked Erst to lay the surviving pages of your spellbook to dry. Over there, he says and points across the chamber. He then looks at the pocket watch on his desk. That's an esoteric pocket watch. You may have it, cleric. It will surely prove useful to you. The esoteric pocket, an area overtaken by esoteric magic, exceedingly rare along the coast. The further inland you get, the more common they are, with the infinite wastes being theorized to be filled with nothing but. Esoteric magic is a term for naturally occurring magic caused by the shape and form of Jaw's realm, sometimes called wild magic or Jaw's discord. Beyond that, you should go. Did I have any weapons on me? None, I'm afraid. They must be at the bottom of the River Torna. I think he's lying to us because I've got it on my belt right now. Good. You do not need arms in this city. You need heart. Oh, shut up. I understand. The pale man turns his face towards you and smiles. Unnatural. If only every government employee were as devoted as you, cleric. He gives you a stern expression. Good luck on your quest. When exploring the city, you may move faster by running. To do so, either double-click or hold Shift plus the left trigger. What trigger? So it's time to go. So we need to rest to unlock this, right? And then we can try some more knowledge checks. I mean, look, we got to hit a DC 5 quite easily, right? That was just a terribly bad roll. But we have a watch. A pocket watch. Yours? We have been informed so. The esoteric pocket watch gives +1 to intelligence. Advantage in esoteric events. We could probably do with that. Human no cause trouble. We should probably equip this. And put the tooth there. There we go. Alright. Oh, and we have a arrow here to... Oh no, that doesn't close, right. The spellbook charm person, we've automatically learned it, so we didn't get a choice in the matter. You attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range. It must make a wisdom saving throw, and does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends, or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. Situational up to 10 minutes. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you, and probably doesn't like the fact. Two, what's this? Cleric 2, Nationalist 1, Asgallist 2. What's this? River take ye. You were brought to the Lich House by fishermen, but how did you survive your plunge into the river? Very good question. Pages. Our pages. Over here somewhere. An open manual for esoteric geometry. You know this already, so those are not our pages. Where are our pages? Wait. The stone slabs are designed to slide along the iron beams. Interesting. A tray of old incense. Some is still usable. A thick tome lies upon the iron slab. This one looks more religious. Wait, is that? A ruined prayer book. Oh no. This book is ruined. Most of the pages, while dry now, have been completely drenched. This is going to be dexterity to try and get them out or something, isn't it? In salt water. It's absolutely and completely ruined. Only a few pages of the soggy, brackenish papyrus pages are readable. They appear to contain some type of undecipherable symbols. Ascani writing, of the most basic kind. Wait, oh no. Someone has attempted to dry this to the best of their ability. No, no, no! What have they done? Smudged all the ink together and ruined it? By Earth! This Phoenix Folio, updated. This is your prayer book. So many hours wasted. By whoever ruined it and the water in which it has been immersed. You would have to rebind the whole thing. It is ruined. That'll cost a fortune. Alright, greedy dexterity. A chant book is able to sustain humidity, not underwater excursions. You should have protected Earth's chants more carefully. What a disgrace. We shall take the ruined prayer book. We can't interact to try and fix it I don't think... Why would we want to equip an item that just gives us a pure net penalty? Is there some narrative reason? What is deep storage? Can we put things in there? After your river adventure, your old spellbook is ruined. Find a service provider who can rebind it for you. Fix your ruined spellbook, damn it. Okay. Well then, let us peruse this book, since we have been offered to. You flip the tome open. There are fine and handwritten letters scattered across the pages. You can read these symbols, but they are in Old Draconian Diminorian, the common language of man, spread across the coast during the Arcane Era to become the lingua dominians in trade and lingua dominians in trade and politics, like the lingua franca. De verbis draconum ars occulto. The author's name appears to be Caelum Diminori. Old Draconic? Yes, the tongue of the dragon masters of Old Diminor. A term for Diminor, often used to refer to the band before it was named Rees. Okay, yeah, I think we've seen that one before. Some say it with pride, some say it with fear, and some with sarcasm. Humans served them faithfully for centuries before the Arcanists rose up against them. Can I read it? No. Right, I need to get my hands on Comprehend Languages spell. Yes, you do. It's highly annoying that you seem to have lost your memorization. Find a spell scroll. Maybe you could buy it somewhere. It's fairly common. We'll leave the tome alone. And then maybe, like a complete fool, your fate one day. Oh, that's brutal. Let's go back downstairs. Level up. Okay, stuff flashed by way too fast to take in there. If he was telling the truth and the zombie came up from below, then it's very dangerous down there. Stairs leading down, far into the city below. Maybe, very briefly, this is probably a vast mistake. The city below the city. I think... yeah, let's go back up and outside. This is too dangerous for us to be down here at the moment. So I don't know how long it'll take us to... now, if this is, like, truly D&D based, we should only get our spell slots per day. I think he lied about the zombie. I don't think it did necessarily wander from up below. But I have no particular reason to go against it right now. Let's venture outside into the city. I imagine there are more stairs leading up. Which means there's probably no... we're probably still below... no, we're not. We're not below ground. Come on, there's light coming in through the window, streaming in. These two halves look like a door that opens, and it would be above the location we awoke in. Voices upstairs and the smell of salt. The smell of salt indeed. It says Viscon's Lich House, but then the "and dentistry" is scratched out. Vampire dentist, that's a bit sarcastic. Hello. Alphos, B.E. Let us behold this dwarven fellow. We can't roll as low as last time. Dwarven Exile, level 3 foreman. He stands by his ideals with gut and little else. A push will earn his respect. That is his way. Okay. Simi and the boys. Alright, well, what can we work out? Our charisma on this one. Oh, rubbish, we have no idea. Behold at DC 3. Yeah. Around the amphitheatre's scene, you see a number of dwarfs hard at work. They're constructing a banner of some kind, carrying a bright green flag. And it will speed vote for this party. Alright, the banner of Asgal, the Fool. Why? Oh, intelligence thinks Asgard's a fool. But then intelligence looks down on everyone else as being less important, less valuable. One of the dwarfs stands to face you with a furrowed brow. He appears to be in a staring contest with the orc on the other side of the theatre, who's probably representing another political party, no doubt. Oi, Mr. Cityman, he calls out as you approach. We made it clear already, we're not moving, not one bit. He shoots you a shit-eating grin. And he's got no moustache, so he looks like a Walt Disney dwarf of shitness with bad taste and drugs and ruining stories by misrepresenting them for centuries, or decades at least. This dwarf gets extreme pleasure from telling you to fuck off like this. The dwarfs are stout, short, hairy folk, loves to dig, build, you know the drill. Drill. They built most of Norvik and have a long history with the Earth folk. The Earth folk are the people of Earth, the ancestors of those who reconquered the Askani coast, true mythological heroes. That's no way to greet a cleric of Norvik. Oh, is it so? Is that so? Guessing I'm supposed to grovel. Well, that'd be nice, thanks. No. I feel like you're not going to. The path of being a cleric is becoming even more familiar. Gained 15 experience points for choosing this class 3 times. Okay. No need to. You see. You hear the other dwarfs laughing behind him. Nothing illegal goes on here. Right. Nothing at all. He's only saying that because he's had to defend himself quite a lot lately. Great, I was worried there for a second. Nothing illegal, huh? I don't care, I'm on a higher mission. Oh, great, I was worried there for a second. Go for the charisma option. He looks you up and down. Yeah, okay, great. Very great. Now how are you? That was a joke. You're clearly doing something illegal. No, well, they are putting up this. Very great. Now, who are you? Name's Alphors of Ban Envers, foreman in the Asgalist movement of Norvik. The foreman is one of the leading members of the Norvik Asgal Council, sometimes called the NAC. This is a group of foremen, or forefolk, guiding the Asgal movement in Norvik. They lead workers' union movements, Asgal rallies, and the entire Asgalist Workers' Party. He's done more good than all you Earthguard combined. A true speaker for Asgal. Oh, you're a celebrity. Damn, that's a lot of good. Okay, sure, I have some questions for you, lads. You're a celebrity? Simi exaggerates. He gives the older dwarf the stink eye. I'm also not in any way proud of my heritage. Nobility is just a poisonous hierarchy. Oh, they are fucking communists. Oh, come on, guys. Really? Why should dwarfs be communists? It was fucking bad enough when Wizards of the Coast did it with the communist dwarfs, who were literally designed to look Russian because they wanted them to be a little bit different and unique. For that chainmail relaunch shortly after the turn of the century. Typical talking points. Yeah, nothing too advanced. He grins. Just wanted to make that clear. So, he's from nobility, is he? And of course, it's a noble running a communist party. Probably lives in a mansion or something. Don't mention the whole noble thing, it'll just piss him off. Unless you want that. Are you boys setting up a play or something? A play? He spits on the ground. We're holding a rally for the cause. This evening, workers across well, he's noble, isn't he? This evening, workers across Tolstad will gather to hear the word of Asgal. He turns towards the orc. And no one's going to stop it. Orcs are big brutes of devilish origin. They're rare in Norvik. Most of them can be found in Fel Tyre, which is a land of elven ruins of magically fertile lowlands in between. In its centre sits Blood City Bay, the largest city on the coast built out of the corpses, or rather just the head, of Gorgorian. Blood City Bay is the most populated city around the coast. Built upon the corpse of Gorgorian the Great and Terrible, a sprawling mess of wooden walkways and buildings carved out of the calcified remains. Once famous for its fleet of airships deployed during the Coast War, known as the origin of the Industrial Revolution. And while New Phazon has overtaken it as the leader in manufacturing, it now stands as one of the most industrious city-states, and we've already heard about the Coast War. You hear laughing coming from across the theatre. Papers, Alphors? This person may be an official, with some official capacity, giving them grief. He grumbles and turns back to you. So, what do you want? You seemed a bit stressed. No, you don't say. His words drip with the acid from a green deer. So, it is forenoon. I'll get the lads together, and when we arrive, that accursed woman is standing there. The dwarf shudders. She starts complaining. He reaches for something in his pockets and takes out some documents. We show her the papers, and the papers are no good, she says. Ah! Circle, square, conflicted, added. Oh, that's a quest. Real convenient, I say. No, there is nothing wrong with these papers. We are in our right to speak out against tyrants and burghers. So burghers would be lower ranking members of a ruling class. Professional, well-doing professional people who, burghers, borgar. The craftsmen, merchants, and notably higher-standing citizens in comparison to those of rural roots. Yet they essentially have a little bit of power. They are. Wait, the papers are out of order, or they're within their rights to speak out against tyrants and burghers? Bureaucracy. Bureaucracy. Yeah, Constitution's got to hate bureaucracy. Check for papers. Surely the dwarfs have screwed up somewhere. So you say she's wrong about the documents then? Of course she is. She's a liar, that one. A filthy liar. Sounds like he might have done something dodgy. Circle, square, conflicted, updated. What is... We can't click on it to get in there, so we can't see the thing at all. Terrible liar. Can't even get the words out. Alphonse nods and grunts. He knows she's right about the documents, but doesn't want to admit it. Yeah, he's trying to cut corners, or thinks he's important enough that he doesn't need to go through the proper channels. Isn't it a little bit macabre to hold a rally on top of a morgue? Morgue? The dwarf grumbles to himself and glances over to the Lich House stairs. I thought it was a dentist. Fair assessment, but I think he's not being entirely honest. No matter. The Asgard movement is not afraid of death. You hear laughter from the orc behind you. Big words, Alphonse. The dwarf grits his teeth. Damn orc. She's oppressing him, isn't she? So what's this rally about exactly? He grunts. Guilds. For decades there's been collective bargaining between Norvikian workers and the city guilds. Say what you want about Earth, but he kept a tight leash on the upper class of this city. You're damn right he did. Blessed be his name. The leash was bad for this city, now we can grow exponentially. No. Blessed be his name. Yeah, but look, it ain't the same since his death. The Free Striders have burrowed into every darn power structure, from paperboys to bookbinders. In less than a dozen years, salaries have stagnated and prices have gone up. They say Free Striderism would make the city rich. I say it makes its people poor. We need change. So you're here to convince a bunch of Tolstad workers to vote for the Asgardist party? More or less, yeah. But it's also about the spirit of community. Together we can fight against the purchasers of our labour. Alone we are as brittle as a twig in the older dwarf pipes up. A twig in the wind? No, that's not good enough. Like a twig in a fireplace. A twig in the wind is pretty catchy, mind you. How about as brittle as a boar with rabies? Like a twig in a fireplace, perhaps? He points at you. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Anyway, the rally will be a success. We just need to get rid of that orc. So we can call out to all workers of this magnificent city, he exclaims, as if there was a crowd around him. Well, there isn't yet, but he's practicing and putting on a show for his fellow comrades. Vote! Vote with your guts, with your manhood at stake. Can I see the papers? He gives his companions a glance. Why? Well, let's see if we can come up with a valid reason why we should look at his paperwork. Just tell him you're an expert and that you're on his side. I'm an expert. Are you now? Yes. Also, I'm on your side. He repeats louder. Are you now? Now hit him with it. I'm your best shot at getting out of this situation. The dwarf grumbles. His eyes go from you to the orc behind you. Fine. The dwarf sighs and grabs something in his pocket. He hands over the scroll. I trust you with these documents, cityman. Tell us we're in the wrong, I dare you. Because we're not, the older dwarf joins in. Take a step back and check it out. Let's see what is actually going on here. You can examine certain items in your inventory to access unique dialogues. Okay, I'll take a look. So what have we here? Where? Here we are. Right. An orc and a bunch of dwarfs are in a deadlock. The dwarfs want to hold a rally, and the orc is sent to stop them. Alphonse says they have the legal right to hold their rally. Maybe I should speak to the orc before looking at the paperwork, because I'll have better context. The formal permission of public gathering. It contains a lot of legal nonsense, making it difficult to pass. -1 intelligence and -1 wisdom. I think I should ask what her problem is. So, many years ago, when I was a student, I was collecting money for a charity with a bunch of other students, and we were outside a bank, and one of the two men came out of the bank in suits. They were clearly passing by us, and one stopped and asked me if I would the authority to collect money for the charity and started giving me grief. And the other man said he was a member of that charity, gave me some money, and took his mate along with him, and so they didn't give me any more grief, so that was fine. Let's see where this orcish woman is and what her problem is. She could just being officious. She could just be being officious, but I think she's up to cause mischief. Agent Vera, yeah, she's not just an innocent bystander. She's acting for some organisation. Oh wow, yeah, we don't understand anything. Okay, fine. The fact that she's an agent, though, means she has a vested in... What's this? Something's inside this old vase. I'd imagine the dwarfs brought it along for their rally, but it's old. Incense. Easily burned spices and herbs can be used to recover first level spell slots. Well, sure, let's use some incense. And now we'll look at this. It's quite light, some kind of magazine paper. Unrolling it reveals a short statement about a political rally at the Circle Square. Permission of public gathering accepted, it says in big letters at the bottom, followed by a signature, Tolstad Magistrate Nicholas Darrow. The text uses an archaic and typically bureaucratic writing style. I've seen this kind of document before, surely. Never. Well, damn, that might have helped. don't like it. Oh? How come? Because it's a legal document, of course. It seems off. Fascinating. It's an impressive document, if fairly standard. It's not. Okay, well, let's examine it. Oh, for goodness sake. You scan the text again, checking for spelling, phrasing, and terminology. It's perfect. Not a single error. Or, something's missing here. What could be missing? Yes, you are correct. You should check it out again later. Or ask someone who knows about this kind of stuff. Let's stop looking. We could go rest at the shrine. Which means we shouldn't have used the incense. But it would refresh the check and allow us to try and roll a 5 again, because that was terrible. We've had some very bad dice rolls. And we'll just have to accept it. We shall go down the stairs. Okay. Let us pray. Staring at the chiseled monument, you focus your mind. You take a deep breath and begin your prayer. And tranquility. Let's contemplate the tea shop. You let your mind go through the basics of what you know. The tea shop was destroyed in the middle of the day. Minor injuries were reported. Your goal is to enter the tea shop and investigate it properly. Let's contemplate our fall into the river. It was not an accident. You are not so clumsy. But the question here is not why you fell. The question is, why do you live? Let's contemplate our class. Identity is not easy. It's everything from faction to home life to street. What you choose might be a first step. Choose wisely. The first election. Your vote won't matter. Your vote will be the most important of all. Ask those around you what they will vote for, and you will find your own voice along the way. Can I return here when I have more things to think about? Always. We'll finish our prayers. I'm done here. And now, maybe, I can try again. It's quite light, some kind of magazine paper. We've seen it before. Intelligence. Sure, we'll try again. For fuck's sake. Natural 1. Okay, yeah, you scan it again. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary. Wisdom knows there's something missing. Check it later. Fine, let's try again. We shall pray. And finish our prayers. Because we're getting the easy ability to reset here. Locked. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, we might have to wait a while and come back. So we were able to reset it once, which was not enough. Seems like we're just going to have to walk off with his papers. Wait. What would a humble mortician who's blatantly a necromancer know about the laws? Figure out what's strange about it. Nope, it's not going to work. Although, we did rest, so... Still locked. Okay, maybe tomorrow. Oh, we're really locked out of that one. Okay. So, We might not need to rest at the shrine to check with papers. We just might be able to look again later. We rolled, what, a 3 and a 1? It's terrible. Okay, let's speak to this woman, who's clearly here on the interest of a different political party. On the edge of the ruinous amphitheatre, you see an orc sitting on one of the many loosened stone blocks. It looks like she's waiting for something. Or someone. Exuding an air of authority around her, the large woman gives you a wry smile. Her tusks are gleaming, and she has voice acting, unlike every other character in the game so far. And I'm going to have a quick drink, because my throat's getting dry, and I've been recording for a while now. FT. What's FT? It's one of the political part. Oh, it's for free traders. What's it? It's There you go. Double burp. Not just physically imposing. This orc knows how to exert power in other ways as well. Yeah, she's probably a scary lady. You spot the merchant's mark on her jacket sleeve, a heart with the initials of the Norvikian Freestrider Regiment. Yeah. What's this? Not often we get Earthguard around here. She presents her palm to you. Vera is my name. I am second in command, Guild Agent of Tolstad. Nice to meet you. Guild Agent being a Freestrider term, or actually part of the current government? Yes, the handsome orc lady wants you to say her name. Make sure she knows you are a cleric. I am Ragan. I'm Helm. I am the cleric, actually. Apologies, not Earthguard, cleric. I assumed the term was interchangeable. You feel a growing pull towards being a cleric, and gain 20 experience points for doing so. 20 is 5 times 4. Yes, I know this. That's blatantly obvious. I don't know why that's included there. There's some kind of maths going into it. That calculates the amount of experience points we gain. But I suppose you're not all, she says, waving towards your outfit, esoterically attuned. Not all Earthguard are spellcasters. Not all clerics are Earthguard, but all clerics are spellcasters. She accepts your annoying corrections with a smile. Not this, that was just intelligence. There's no speech marks. So the correction being like right up here. Probably means she sees you as no threat at all. A mere puppy. She shoots you another smile, waiting patiently for you to say anything. What's the deal with the dwarfs? Oh, them? Complicated as anything. I wouldn't be sitting here wasting my precious day if it wasn't for them. But in short, they're holding an unlawful assembly. And they won't let me take a look at the document proving it. Not frustrating at all, she says and winks at you. She telegraphs her sarcasm heavily. This is useful when communicating with slower individuals. Oh, so should I just hand her the PPG thing I got? No. While she is someone who might know what's about it, what's going on, what's wrong with it, she also has a vested interest, and I can't trust her honesty. Explain it to me in detail, from the top. It's all just an inconvenience, she says. Her eyes say a pain in the arse. Yeah. These lovely Asgalists have decided by themselves to hold a rally here on this lovely little circle square. Unfortunately, they need a permission of public gathering, or a PPG. And I suspect this may be a forgery. A PPG needs to be approved by the district council. Yeah, maybe we should go see them. They do not have a proper PPG. And you're just sitting here because... simple, really. These dwarfs are ignoring my call to disperse, so I'm here as a witness. If they do not leave by sundown, they will be fined or arrested. Why don't you just come back at sundown? Because she's encouraging them to leave and trying to intimidate them. I would if it wasn't for the fact that I need to witness the entirety of the trespassing. Since they were served during the morning, if they do not disperse by sundown, they will be inflicted with an entire day's worth of fines. I'd have an assistant do it, or a secretary, but we're stretched thin as it is with the election coming up. No, I'll just sit here and smile politely. Who will they be arrested by? She gives you a smug grin. You, perhaps? The monopoly on violence here in Tolstad is more of an oligopoly. It'll be a roll of the dice to see who gets employed to handle these rude dwarfs. Maybe some goblins. The city of Norvik always allows us to employ mercenaries for extra-legal enforcement, but the company likes to avoid that in most cases. Goblins are short and green. They got claws and fangs, little monsters. They got 3 tribes in Norvik and are considered somewhat civilized. Monsters, short for monstrosity, defined as a non-sentient creature born out of magical means, often by combining various natural beasts or from curses or esoteric events. So goblins are barely conscious, and there's graffiti down here. HWBT again. Looks like a goblin, orky goblin type picture as well. As you can imagine, mercs tend to lack that finer touch. There's something shady about this. I'm not going to side with her. I'll nod and look away. This sounds like trouble. Trouble would at least be exciting. This is just dull. If only I could get my hands on those PPG documents. Then I could simply hand them over to the city and go home early, or rather head back to the office and complete the... Yeah, but the dwarfs don't want her to have the papers, meaning there's either something wrong with the papers, or they don't want to have the papers taken away from them. But they've trusted us. The orc sighs. The draft for the marketing meetup. Sorry, I've got a lot on my plate. You're being manipulated. Be careful. Yeah, she's up to no good here, so are they. I don't want to help you. Well, good luck with that. Yeah, thanks. We'll nod our head and leave. We can come back to try and sort this out later. Dragon. Goblin wall art. A green face is splattered across the facade, staring wildly towards a flaming sky and the dragon spread across it. Where's the green face? Or something like that. Can you call this art? I mean, it's vandalism. What does it mean? What does this tell me about the state of Norvik? Yeah, we'll go with that one. Nothing, really. It tells me they let people daub stuff on the walls and don't care about it. That goblins are artists? All folks seek a belief. They are simply made at one out of this supposed dragon lady. A coherent thought from the red one? Impressive. What, that one down there? They should worship Earth instead. There we go. Back to insanity. What does it mean? It represents a devotion, albeit in an asinine way. The fire is the soul, a boundary between the real and the hurtful. And the heartful. Heartful? Is that even a word? We'll place our hand upon the wall. You take a step forward. The painted stone surface is smooth, and I'm pretty sure the paint is dry. And we have gloves on. This is no cheap dwarven rock. This is Gate-era architecture, disguised among the rest. You feel an esoteric urge to communicate with this object. Let's try. Okay, that's good. Tell me your secrets. You sense a crack in the wall. It wasn't there before. Before I place my hand there, then you hear a voice. A faint voice. A hoarse voice. Secrets end when spoken. Oh, good. You're not crazy. Talking to walls now. Awesome! Who built you, wall? A god. Cooler for heresy. I'm a devoted servant of Earth, and I don't listen to any of this. Which god? Iomestra. Never heard of that god. Sounds like a weak god to have been forgotten like that. What's your name? Chauncey. I don't like that name. That's a pretty name. It's not really a name, it's just a word. I don't have any opinion of that name. Okay. What's it? How old are you? 15 time Alines. How many years is that? 2,000. Could have been built by one of Jaws' beasts. What's it like being a wall? Nothing. Nothing good or nothing bad? Nothing. In isolation. I thought it was saying nothing at all. What do you know about Norvik? Nothing. Do you know what Norvik is? No. What's your political affiliation? Fear. Interesting. It has a political affiliation. It is afraid. It's scared. It's afraid it'll be torn down and replaced by people who take power. Are you sure you understand the question? Yes. All right then. Those are all the questions I have, Wall, and we'll pat the wall. Okay. The crack disappears as quickly and silently as it came to. Then silence. That was surely an esoteric event, or else you're turning mad. Nicest wall you've ever met. We'll bow to the wall. Thank you for your time. Now, what is this creature? Let's fail some dice rolls. Braxo Pencilwing. We might even pass some. Ooh, good. It's a devil. Surprisingly content. Hard worker. Do we get experience for passing that? I'm not sure. Now, Alphonse says if people are legal, have a legal right time of running. Okay, so nothing about the orc lady there. What else? I'm pretty sure the 5 times 4 is a multiple of this. But not entirely certain. So. You raise your head towards the sky. Above you sits a tiny red creature. His wings flutter faintly in the wind. He's just a little guy with wings, reading his little newspaper. The fiend throws a quick glance your way. He's annoyed. We're interrupting his reading. Staring at a piece of paper, he does not acknowledge your presence. Hello, I'm from the local government. Hey, little guy, why aren't you on my shirt? No, what you reading now? Like, hello, what are you reading? A sigh escapes the fiend's maw. He slowly puts down the paper. The paper is actually a torn-out page from a magazine. Magazines are a periodical publication, generally containing short stories, adverts, investigative journalism, and/or erotica. And propaganda, sometimes as well. I like the funny pictures. I believe the fiend is being sarcastic. I like the pictures too. I like the articles more, though. You can read? Congratulations. He's mocking you. Of course he is. Horrifically snide remark. I like this devil already. No, you don't. It's a devil. Devils, lawful evil fiends. They are lawyers, soul traders, and either the most efficient types of leaders or the worst type of middle managers. Their numbers are dwindling as of late, but in Blood City Bay they still rule supreme. Wait, he says, leaning in to get a good look at you. Wait. Earthguard? A cleric? Hells, what the hell's you doing here? What, am I not allowed in Tolstad? Oh, divine mission, the usual. Very well, I won't get in your way. I, for one, am very happy for your presence. This place has gone downhill since the city let the goblins and the freestriders run amok. Oh no, the devil's a kiss ass. We need some damned order in this place. Wise words. Although, so if you need any legal advice, just let me know. He gives you a tiny, sharp smirk. Well, actually, you should be aware of the fact that this is literally a devil. A good little devil. No, he's not good. You can hear out any advice, just don't listen to it blindly. Are you a barrister? A tiny barrister? Can you give me free legal advice? Should I invest in stocks? What about alignment? What's the law have to say on resurrections? What about charm person? I have some questions about a PPG. You hear about the tea shop, citizen? We're asking about the PPG. Permission of public gathering? Yeah, I think I know what you're getting at. He throws a look over his shoulder. He is aware of the dwarf's plight. What's a PPG? The imp takes a deep breath. A permission of public gathering is a legal document showing the intent of the magistrate of a certain district to allow an individual of a party represented by that individual to gather in a public place such as a town square, city or street tunnel to perform, protest, exclaim, fraternize or any other non-commercial activity. A magistrate would be the highest government position beyond the local patriarch. Oh, so they don't have judges here, they only have magistrates. Chosen to rule a district in Norvik for 10 to 12 years depending on their bloodline. How long does it take to get a PPG? A week, depending on your contacts and your pouch. Yeah, I'm suspecting the dwarf's got this PPG suspiciously quickly. What would you look for if you were investigating a PPG? Wording. Legalese can get pretty complicated, and a good barrister could twist that stuff into oblivion. They may have been set up. Someone could have written them a bad PPG to set them in trouble. Other than that, I'd check the basics. Names, spelling, dates. A single lithographic error can cause a landslide of troubles. Did someone put the wrong date on the bloody thing? He smirks. I know from experience. Alright, that's all about the PPG for now. Can we ask him to look at it? I'm getting hungry. Should get a snack soon. He stares off into the distance. Oh, you were saying? Can you give me free legal advice? I mean, the only free legal advice you're likely to get from a lawyer is that if you want their legal advice, you should give them some money. Oh yes, I'll gladly assist a member of the Earthguard any day. Just ask. Okay, hang on. Citizen, we'll nod and take our leave. Let's see if we can examine again. Oh, that's the wrong one. Well, that's what I get for recording this late. Okay, examine. It's still locked. Need a shard for that. Well, where are we going to get a shard? I thought that resting was supposed... and praying was supposed to unlock some choices as well. Well, I suppose we could look for shards. There's a black cat. Hello, black cat. A black cat. Yeah, we don't need to make any checks to identify that. Oh, shit. No! Don't... What are you doing, you idiot? You don't have to run all the way up there. On the ledge overlooking the garden, you spot a black cat. Calm as can be, it doesn't even care that you stomp up next to it. Hello, I'm from the local government. Greetings, who might you be? The cat lifts its head, its dark eyes squint at you for a second, sniffs in the air, and then ignores you once again. It knows more than it lets on. Wisdom comes from knowing when to act and when to not. We should probably not act now. This cat does not care for you in the slightest. Stroke it or something? Yeah, I don't know. If you wish to hold a proper conversation with this magnificent creature, you need to find the first of the spells Speak with Animals. Let us not speak with the cat. The rough letters spell out Our Lady's Apartments. Probably a residential block. Here is a goblin we cannot interact with. Wait, what? Okay. Old, faded posters nailed to the wall. They're unreadable. Actually readable posters. They're still kind of old. Your eyes land on a series of papers nailed onto the wooden facade. Getting out information to people. How do you do it? One possible way? Papers nailed on random walls. You'd be surprised how effective it can be. It can be even more effective if the walls aren't random and you target specific areas and people and places. Some of them are torn or unintelligible. A few catch your attention. This seems illegal. Advertisement requires strict approval from the government. Tear them down. Rip them up. We'll look at the flyer with the owl on it. S. Yelan and Sons, binders and lithographers. Everything from designing to engraving. Account books, manufacturing, water lane view, 6th LW. What's LW? We want to get there. This place could fix your ruined spellbook. Yeah, no kidding. It's a prayer book, and yes, this place could help with that. Yes, it could. We should look for that place. Look at the old one saying grand opening. I mean, it's probably a bit outdated now. You can barely read the faded letters on the ink-printed flyer. Grand opening of the Stubborn Sphinx Brewery and Commercial Tavern. Served without riddles, drunk with all charm. Pillar Crossing, 2nd LW. We don't know what LW is. Is it like a ward? Wait. So, 6th LW. I don't think that's number 2. I think it's the 2nd LW, so we need to go looking for districts. This one has a faded green hammer. A sun-faded symbol covers most of this large poster. It's a hammer printed with green ink. Asgalists, those who share the plight of the common folk. Gather, ye workers. Asgal said no gods above, no king below, only folk. Asgalists rally on the 22nd of March, TS Circle Square, up. Oh, you can't just gather people like this. Hang on, maybe it's shaking with rage. You can't just gather people like this. The city is surely against this type of erroneous collectivist behaviour. Collectivism is generally bad, got to admit. We can rip down the posters and tear them to shreds like a good man, or leave them for now. We can always come back later. What's this barrel doing here? An empty barrel. Well, if it's empty, it's not that empty. Okay. We have stairs leading up. But maybe there's still something we can do down in the garden. Was that like a sitar? I think it was. What an eclectic musical mix. More coins. We might find a use for this. Maybe we should be addressed. Oh. Overgrown, ancient. Sort of interesting. In fact, embedded in the earth, you find weather-bitten stone in the shape of a spiral. Its edges are worn down, smooth almost, and behind you lies the head of what was once a snail statue. This would obviously be a shell. Whatever god of symbolism this once denoted time... No. Whatever god of symbolism this once denoted, time has ground it down. It is a monument to nothing now. There is something here, but can you understand its purpose? Let's touch the surface. It's cold. Your hand runs across the stone, finding it more coarse than you thought. The ridges in the spiral are even smoother. You find they're not at all coarse. But it was more coarse than we thought. You realise this was almost certainly an esoterically constructed art piece. What's more, you do feel the outline of a script. Symbols. Your fingers trace them faintly along the spiral shell of the snail. The symbols do not mean anything to you. If you had comprehend languages, you could understand this script just by touching it. Tell me your secrets, old stone. No response. I'm not going to punch some stone. It'll hurt. This is fine. I'll leave it alone. Shiny. Okay. I was wondering because it floated in the middle of the thing. In Norvik, a pipe like this could lead anywhere. Let's not. It could be deadly sewerage. Hello. There's a person sleeping here. And a divine shrine, untended for decades. We may very well pray here at some point in the future. Something's inside this old vase. And that would be some incense and coins. Excellent. The goblin garden is ahead. You feel it. No kidding, we seem to be literally in it. A shard. Ooh. A shard of jaw, no less. A bright rock. It fits your hand nicely. These can be found all over Norvik, and some speculate they are all shards of Jaw's pillar. To untrained hands, they are of no inherent value, but you might use these to alter fate itself. Spend in dialogues to unlock dice checks. Well, let us examine the PPG form. DEHTT. Don't even have to try. Spend one shard to unlock? Yes, absolutely. Right, we will examine the paperwork in detail. Oh, fuck off! You scan the text again. Right, do we have an autosave? Because that was taking the fucking piss. Right. We do have an autosave. This is the latest. And is this before or after speaking to the devil? Looks like before. So if we walk this way and sing the song, nature seeps through the cracks. There was a shard down here, and it is ours. And now we'll see if the dice rolling is random or if it's rigged. As in using a kind of predetermined model of some kind. Right. Yes, we will unlock it. Not a 1. Okay, so it is random. You scan the text again, checking for spelling, phrasing and terminology. Should have probably spoke to the imp first to ask about that. It's perfect. Not a single error. Except the date. It says their rally is supposed to be held on the 16th. The document is perfectly legal, but it's expired. We'll look at the dates. Yep, it's expired. Okay. We've done that. Let's speak to him. Hello again, cleric. Can I help you? Okay, so this was after speaking to him. He's not exactly happy to speak to you, but he is happy to gain your favour. Let's leave. Right, citizen. Right. Okay. So, their permit has expired, but this woman is causing trouble. And do they deserve the right to do so anyway? Mr. Cityman, what can you do? What do you want this time? About the rally. What about it? I checked out the papers. Oh, maybe we shouldn't give the papers back to him. He takes a deep breath. Okay, what did you find out, citizen? Yeah, these papers expired, like, last week. He takes the papers and shakes his head. With a groan, he mutters, I know, but the date is just a mistake, you see. I personally had this signed by the magistrate 2 days ago, after this supposed expiry date. I don't think it was a mistake. I think the magistrate intentionally sabotaged you. They must have done it on purpose. Exactly! That's what I've been saying, Alphonse. Or it was an honest mistake. As if. Real convenient. Bah! The dwarf shouts onto the amphitheatre. It doesn't matter. Whether Darrow fucked us or not, we're here and they can't make us leave. Well, actually they can. He gives you a menacing glare. And I hope for your sake you're not the sorry lad she's hired to do the deed. I'm the dispenser of justice, but not necessarily in this case. I'm just here to observe. He spits on the ground. Fanscap! A dwarven word meaning something along the lines of devilry. Common curse word. That was a swear word. You could tell because of the way he said it. Right, let's you guys have fun. I'll take my leave. Wait. What? No, come back here. Right. There's an esoteric effect in place here, stopping rainwater. It's a piece of cloth. Men at work beneath Asgal's green banner. Okay. Well, I think we should... The orc greets you with a bright smile. Hello again, cleric. About the dwarfs. Yeah? Yes, have I had enough of wasting my workday? I checked the papers. They're expired. They are indeed. Expired and invalid. Sounds like she already knows this. And knew it before we told her. Wait, they let you check the papers? Aren't you a smooth talker? Is she going to tell us to get rid of them now? If you could get them to me, that'd be quite the favour. I don't think that'd be right. I think she's up to something. I'll go. Yeah, thanks. Just nod our head and leave. So I think we'll go down the stairs. We'll go back and interact with the cat, like last time. And the stone. And why not the barrels as well? Wait, there's stairs here. Why are there stairs leading up to that part of the building? Say hello, what kind of cat are you? And it doesn't care. We're going to leave it be. We're not going to ask the cat who it's voting for. It's a cat. Wait. We'll gaze upon these once again and regard these many documents. A grand opening. Faded green hammer. And take our leave. There's a barrel. Claims to be empty, it's not. And then we'll go back down to the snail thing. Ah, that's the red pouch of holding round the back of the belt. What an awkward position. We will look at this. And it's not a wall, so we will leave the not a wall thing alone. Shiny. Shard of jaw. Excellent. This could lead anywhere. Let's not do that. We have a shrine. We can leave the shrine. There's a pot. Could call it potluck. That was terrible. I shouldn't have even said that. And then if we end here, it's where we kind of left off previously. That looks like an important character that I've seen in a lot of the screenshots. So what's changed here? Vera claims the dwarf's legal documents are expired. The dwarfs say it's a mistake in the paperwork or the guys set them up. Sounds like they're making excuses, but I do think they have been set up. And this just mostly looks like tracking, laid out weirdly like a skill tree to confuse. And is that, why lay it out as like a skill tree? That's really weird. Oh, we literally have loads of stuff, right? Yeah. Okay. We were here, but now we seem to be seeing this part of the map. Alright. This looks very much like the wire mesh models from the dungeons in Daggerfall. Right, so we got this. That's fine. We may need it again at some point. For now, though, I think I'm going to end the episode here. As the great shadow passes over us, as the sun moves, but the clock does not change. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I'll look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'll say goodbye for now, though, and cheerio, everyone. See you all soon.